Addison Rae wants fans and friends she grew up with to know that fame hasn't changed her, and we have all the details. I'm Gabby Conti.
I'm Gina Rosenberg, and this is your 24/7 celebrity news. One of Addison's best friends from growing up, Gracie, just posted a video on TikTok reminiscing about their friendship. In the video, Gracie shows off a series of photos of her and Addison as besties growing up. As a voice says, and I say, "Are you with anyone?" And it always was, "Yeah, Tracy." Gracie captioned the video, "When at Addison Rae was your actual Tracy, #FYP. Does that work? Let us know." It seems like Gracie intended for this video to be a heartwarming throwback to Addison, but instead people assumed it was sad that Gracie and Addison, who looked so close in these photos, are probably not friends anymore since Addison got famous. Also, according to Addison Updates, who commented TikTok Room's first post about this, Gracie is actually Addison's ex's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird, but they got close through that relationship, I guess, and Addison kind of spoke on that. This is crazy. I watched this video and I was like, wow, it's cool to see all those photos of Addison,
yeah.
first of all. We've all had a best friend growing up. I think as you get older, sometimes you drift, sometimes life brings you apart. I also think, we'll get obviously way more into this, I feel like people change. Like as you grow up, you just change. And I think it's a good thing. Like Addison's life is tremendously different now than it was even just a year ago, but imagine 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think when change affects you negatively, it's not great, but for the most part, I feel like people are good, and I feel like change is a positive thing.
I agree. I mean, and it seems that Addison is still very much connected to her roots and to who she is. I mean, she has her parents that are amazing, who are always keeping her grounded, even if that comes at the cost of her mom making a WAP dance and embarrassing.
Which was amazing, by the way.
So I think, and also her dad is so funny too. But yeah, I mean, distance changes friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I sadly have drifted away from a lot of my friends from high school because I've lived in LA since I graduated college.
Yeah.
So it's, and my hometown's Connecticut. So it's hard to like keep a friendship from not only the time difference, but when you grow and they start having families and I'm focusing on my career, like, and that seems to be what's happening with Addison. I mean, she did go home recently for a wedding, so she has friends getting married, and meanwhile, she's really focused on like expanding her brand and doing everything she can, which is amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, I just think, yeah, you couldn't have said it better, and her life is completely different than most people's also. You know, she's on a completely different path. But I would say even like us just living in Los Angeles, pursuing a career in entertainment, it's so different than our hometowns.
Absolutely.
You know, so I feel like sometimes when I go home, I don't know if this happens to you, but people are like, wow, Jana's so different, but it's like, this is just where I've gone with my life.
Right.
And I feel like I'm still, like even Addison, I think can attest to this, like we still see that like sweet, southern, down-to-earth girl in her, you know, and she says that a lot, even before this drama happened.
Yeah, I don't feel like she's changed. I feel like her life has changed. And so obviously with the change of a life comes changes into maybe like her relationships and everything like that. But I do think it's also important to note that like, I don't know if she goes by, it's Gracie on TikTok. She might go by Grace because Addison referred to her as Grace. But Grace or Gracie, I think she put together this TikTok contemplation, like not because she was like trying to like get at Addison for being like, oh man, you've changed and like it's so sad that we're not like besties like this anymore. I don't think that was the intention for it, and we'll get more into the specifics of it. I think she posted it kind of like a fun throwback. Kind of, I bet she came across these photos and was thinking of Addison and kind of did this as a way to kind of, you know, hey girl, like I'm still thinking of you, and like I remember when we were this close and we're still close in a different way. I think that was the intention, but like in the comment section, fans were just like attacking Addison for her, like, you know, not being this girl's best friend anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair to Addison. You know, I agree with you. I don't think this TikTok was put into the universe with ill will or to be negative. Yeah, of course, it is a little like, it would make fans like, oh my gosh, wow, like this was her best friend. I mean, it's still, they're just maybe not together physically anymore all the time, so that could have been the intent. I don't think it was like a mean thing that Grace or Gracie did. I think the fans kind of made something about this that it necessarily wasn't.
Right, which is why, I mean, Addison was very active in the comment section trying to set the record straight, as was Grace. And so, yeah, so basically one fan commented on this quote, "This is sad. If I was ever to become famous, I wouldn't stop hanging out with the people I grew up with. It looked like she was literally your bestie." Well, Addison weighed in on the comments on this TikTok to set the record straight, as she said, saying, "I changed and dropped old friends knowing nothing. I flew my best friend from high school to LA this year, but that wasn't good enough for fans." As someone else commented, She probably doesn't even speak to this girl now, but Gracie defended Addison by saying, we actually do talk when we get the chance. She's obviously a very busy person. So I think it's good that Addison got involved, and I feel bad for Grace because I don't think that she intended for this to go as south as it did. But I think it's good that Addison was like, hey, like, this is not the case. You don't know the full picture. You only know a little bit about our friendship, about who I am from my social media presence. Like, don't judge before you know the full story.
The thing with fans and being famous is, and we reporting on these people, I feel like we've learned this a lot. You're never gonna win fully. You're just not. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be people that find something wrong with you or find something wrong with what they think you are, who they think you are, even the situation. Like, at the end of the day, yes, I understand why this TikTok was taken in a certain way, but they've both commented on it, and yeah, I just think it should just be not like this big of a negative thing. Like, I actually feel bad for all the backlash she's getting.
Yes.
But I do want to get more into like how Addison has evolved and changed, because even from when she did an interview here, she's a completely different person now, and that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I mean, her career is evolving. She also, we have to remember, Addison is 19 years old. Like, there's so much change that she's already been through as a 19-year-old. She's going to continue to change as she goes through her 20s, which is like a whole, I could tell you from the other side of your 20s.
Oh my gosh.
It is a roller coaster. You definitely change. Your relationships change. Your friendships change. Who you are change. Your perspective on the world changes. And already Addison is such a strong, amazing, incredible person. So I do think that the change in Addison's life will only get better and better. I don't think I see her getting, any negative change, and she'll stay in touch with her friends and those relationships that matter to her, and also friendship's a two-way street. It's not just Addison reaching out to them, it's them reaching out to her. So, I'm sure their lives have changed since high school.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think, fame does change people. Like, I think sometimes we see a negative impact of fame. We see it all the time. It also depends what your negative is. Like, let's take Miley Cyrus, for example. She went through, during the bangers phase, that was kind of a wild Miley time. Some people thought that was extremely negative. Some people thought that was Miley just being Miley, figuring herself out. And at the end of the day, she came through, and like, I think she learned a lot from that era and realized she did make a few mistakes here and there.
Yeah.
But that's like, can you imagine, like, just put yourself in someone's shoes who has millions of people watching their lives every single day.
Every move.
Every move. I would change too.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would deal with that. And yes, it's what you sign up for. Addison didn't even necessarily sign up for this.
No, she didn't. I mean, I think especially Addison, I don't think Addison was ever, we always knew that she was like interested in performing, but for her, I think her biggest dream growing up seemed like it was to be a Tiger girl.
Yeah, a dancer.
A dancer, and like that was her biggest dream. She did not intend for her fame to blow up the way it did.
Yeah.
But she's good at it. She's a good, people love watching her. They love seeing what she does. But I have noticed, since she is the one that I feel like social media loves to hate. I feel like they're, from digging up old videos of her, from critiquing the dances that she does. Like, I mean, I feel like Addison has apologized more than almost any other public figure, and she's only been in the spotlight for less than a year. And it's not because Addison's really necessarily is more flawed than other people. It's just because she's under such a microscope.
Absolutely. And it's lonely at the top.
It is lonely at the top. That's what
I think actually Kourtney Kardashian has said that multiple times.
And that's why they're best friends.
Yeah, and that's why they're best friends.
They get it.
Yeah. Well, let's get more into it. But I do want to also talk more about that friendship, because it has just heated up even more now. It seems like, holy crap.
Like, that friendship. Those matching bikinis, man.
So cute. Okay.
Goals.
So Addison also commented on the video saying, Grace said, "This is so sad. And our story is crazy." Addison also replied to comments explaining their friendship by saying, "Gracie and I had a great friendship through another relationship, and after the breakup, we still talk." Addison also added, "I moved from where she lived to go to college 4 hours away. You tell me if you hang out with everyone from high school," which TikTok Room posted and Addison commented on. "How is this tea? Her and I Snapchat in real time." Yeah, like, this is what I'm saying. I think everyone kind of made this tea, and to be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, "Ooh, tea." Like, it's what happens when you're super famous and things like this come out.
Right.
But I will say, I kind of want Gracie, I want her to like say more. I feel like she hasn't said enough. Like, amidst all this craziness, like, if I was her, I'd be like, whoa, like, I didn't mean for this to be negative. We still Snapchat all the time. Like, we're still besties, but like, obviously things are different now,
She has said that, and she definitely has been very active in the comment section on this post.
Okay.
This video when I checked this a couple hours ago, it was at 1 million views. I'm sure it's definitely up in the maybe 2 or 3 million by now. Gracie has been very active in commenting, and the whole reason why this might have even gained more traction was TikTok Room who is always our source of the latest and greatest tea out there, posted comments and what this was like going on. So I think TikTok Room might have elevated it, and then Addison was also commenting in the TikTok Room comment section, setting the record straight. And that's like, she's like, how is this tea? Because she's like, this isn't tea. It's just, I had a friend. We're still friends. We're just not as tight as we were like when we were in high school and we lived together and we saw each other every day, which is like, I'm sure would be the same for you. You're not as close with your friend from high school that you saw every day that you are now, especially if you live in not only different cities, but are pursuing different lives.
Absolutely, totally.
Yeah.
And you know, you can tell that this means a lot to Addison to get the record straight, and that she hasn't changed that much as a person, because she cares about this and wants people to know. You know, if she had really changed for the worse and was like some I'm so famous, whatever kind of girl,
she wouldn't even be
know this was happening. She'd just be drinking her latte with Kourtney Kardashian.
I think it's matcha. She likes her matchas.
Matchas.
Like that's her drink.
Right.
But yeah, no, she's like, I mean, she spent time. This unfolded this morning. She was there this morning commenting, and it looked like she had a really busy day too, because right after all this went down, I saw Addison went live and was like doing her makeup and showing us off her new like item beauty product. So like, girl is busy, but she takes like the 5 seconds to like, I mean minutes to like to address us, because I think her friendship with Grace is important. I think she doesn't want people to like think that she has changed, because she hasn't. She's the same.
She's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, again, like, you know, I think when you're besties with Kourtney Kardashian, like, your life changes significantly, and you do seem different, because, you know, also I think that she's posted a bunch of TikToks recently between the WAP and between the Mamma Mia. Like, people are like, oh wow, she's like going there. She's getting a little more sexual.
Yeah, I will. I've seen that. I've noticed that with Addison. I feel like Addison's brand when she first started was very family friendly. It was very like cute and bubbly and light, and she definitely is becoming a little bit more mature with her content. Not to say that's a bad thing. I mean, she's growing up. She's almost 20. She's growing up, and and I'm sure the Kardashians have had some like influence on that, but I don't think that is coming from like a bad way or that they're rooting her. I think it's coming from a way about like, hey, like this is like some tips that we used for like fan engagement.
Totally.
I think it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
and you know what? I mean,
there's a picture of like a very young Addison Rae. I mean, she looks like a different person.
She does. She really does.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like,
That's
again,
great.
that's okay too. I don't think she's done anything to like change herself physically in the sense of like surgery. Like, she's you know, she's still the beautiful. She's just growing up. She's growing into like, you know what's so crazy? Like, especially I feel like, well, guys too, but we like evolve so much as women. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, that was baby. I'll like look at photos of myself and I'm like, that was baby. Like, now I'm like a woman, you know?
No, yeah,
so
because you learn, you grow. I mean, she's been in Hollywood for a year and in Hollywood through a pandemic. I'm sure she's changed so much over, I mean, since she made her first TikTok. Absolutely.
I think you can be sexy and so good at your job and a good role model.
Totally.
I do think that. I want to point that out.
We're seeing comments right now that people are commenting Annie LeBlanc a lot. We do have a story on her coming up tomorrow. That's adjacent to her, so we will update you on that.
Adjacent to her, and it's going to be live,
We will do live, so make sure you tune in around the same time tomorrow for that story. But currently right now we are talking about Addison. We're talking about, has she changed at all? Do you think she's changed? If you have any comments or ideas of like how you've seen Addison grow from when we interviewed her, when you interviewed her here at Hollywire, let us know, because I mean, I think it's been so awesome to see her evolve.
Like to grow and climb this industry and do it the way she has. Like, how inspiring!
So inspiring.
It's, you know, I don't know. It's very inspiring. Like, anyone can do it. Just goes to show you guys. You know.
Totally.
So.
Well, TikTok Room, of course, covered this post, as we were saying earlier, and the comments that came from it. And Addison even got into the comments of TikTok Room, setting the record straight. I always love when influencers do this by saying, quote, "We had a close friendship through my relationship where she was family. After that breakup, we still were friends. I flew my best friend to LA this year, and I was a bridesmaid in my high school best friend's wedding. Once you graduate high school and move away to college, life changes. Smiley face. When I moved to college, no one from high school reached out to me. When I moved to LA, though, everyone started to. Weird. Anyways, love y'all. Have a good day. And you and your body are perfect." I love her body positivity.
I know, me too. She's been really focused on that recently, which makes me wonder, is she gonna do something with that? Because I saw a paparazzi video. I don't know if you guys saw this. Of course, it was the Hollywood Fix. And she was getting in her car, and she just kept saying, "Your body's beautiful, your body's beautiful." It was so random. It's like, okay, thank you. But like, I just think she's really pushing that, and something we're gonna get something new from her, maybe body image, health,
maybe
lifestyle
merch
related.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely seems to be getting like I have a feeling that Addison's brand will go over all of the different verticals. I mean, she's done beauty.
Why not?
I feel like with her merch, it's kind of getting into fashion.
Yeah.
And we know, the whole, how her friendship with Kourtney Kardashian really like escalated was when she taught Kourtney her booty workouts for Poosh. So I feel like we will be seeing her do maybe some more lifestyle content.
Totally.
I do think this is interesting because I'm not, to analyze Addison's statement, okay, so she's saying we had a close friendship through my relationship where she was family. So she is confirming that Grace is in fact the sister of her ex. And if you remember, her ex in high school that she had, I think is the same ex that was that abusive relationship.
Definitely, probably.
So the fact that Grace was able to stand with her through it and like be there through it. And then after the breakup, they were still friends. So after she broke up with her, with Grace's brother, the two of them stayed friends. And then when she said, I flew my best friend to LA this year, is she talking about Grace or do you think she's talking about another friend?
She's saying, wait, I flew my best, where did she say that?
I flew my best friend to LA this year and
was a bridesmaid
in my high school friend's wedding. So are those two other friends?
I did see shots of her walking around with someone that was not famous, so maybe it was not this girl, someone else.
Yeah, so I'm guessing she's in contact with two other friends from high school. I think that's the wedding that people started to speculate that her and Bryce were not a thing because she didn't have a date at that wedding to our knowledge, and we were expecting it would be Bryce and Addison. So I think that's what she's referring to. Although I will say this is very interesting how no one from high school reached out to her when she was in college. Now remember, when she was in college, before she moved to LA, she was living with her parents. She was just outside of campus. It is interesting, and she was 4 miles away from her hometown, 4 hours away from her hometown. It is interesting that no one cared about her then, but yes, when she starts blowing up and when she's in the spotlight,
that's what happens all the time.
Yeah, and I don't think she's referring to Grace. I think she's referring to like other people from high school who maybe are the ones in the comment section throwing shade. That she wants to know, hey, like, you know, I know who my true friends are, and I'm true to those friends. But of course, they are people that they weren't there for me when I possibly needed a friend when I was living with my parents and just starting off college.
Struggling a little bit. Didn't make the dance team.
No, didn't make the dance team.
That's a low that, you know, I think we see this happen all the time. I've seen it happen with some of my friends. We see it happen with celebrities and friends. Like, when you are hitting a stride and you're being so successful, it's like, of course, everyone wants a piece of it. You guys all know it as clout chasing. And like, I feel like it's just very prevalent. And to Addison, holy crap. I mean, can you imagine all the people that all of a sudden from Louisiana want to be her bestie and want like a little piece of everything she has. So I applaud her. I think she is staying true to herself, and I think yes, her life has changed, but I don't think the person that she is like really changed.
Yes.
For where I'm sitting necessarily.
Yeah, we have Lily in the comments saying, please talk about Addison's glow up, and that's so true. I mean, that's really what she had, but I will say that I think Addison Rae's glow up is not just like, you know, having better clothes, having better hair, having better makeup. I think it's also this confidence. I mean, if you look
oh my
back,
gosh.
and that's really, to me, that's the true glow up. The glow up is not the materialistic stuff. The glow up is how she's presented herself, how confident she is on camera. If you look at older videos of her, she's like really nervous with like saying her name and who she is. Like now she's like very like clear about what she wants to say and who she is, and her message of loving your body and loving yourself, I think, is amazing, and I feel like that really is her motto.
I agree with you. I love that you said that. Confidence. She really like, wow. Talk about, she just has like blossomed into like what seemed to be a girl to like this woman who just, she knows what she wants. She knows what she's about. Everything that she says, whether it's like clearing up backlash or taking a break, even her taking a step back and going silent for a week, she just handles it so well, you know.
She's putting herself first. She's truly loving herself, and I hope that's infectious for her fans so they know to love themselves too.
Totally. It makes me like love her. I think that's honestly why she has such a big fan base. It's like we just see this confident girl from Louisiana who's just doing her, you know? And she's doing it the best way possible, obviously.
Absolutely.
But yeah, really cool.
So cool.
Really, really cool. Should we go through some of the comments?
Actually, I think we are a little bit out of time.
Are we wrapped?
So we have to wrap this up, guys. Well, we will do live again tomorrow. We have something that is Annie LeBlanc adjacent for you guys, so definitely you don't want to miss that. And thank you guys so much for watching. And before we end, let us know, are you still friends with your friends from high school? And do you think Addison and Grace are actually still friends, or was it just for the clout? Let us know. I'm Gabby Conti.
I'm Gianna Rosenberg, and follow us here at Hollywire for your 24/7 celebrity news.